Dear Brother John, you spoke during your conference of the 4 levels of consciousness that every human being goes through, as Jesus did.
Yes.
So the first level, which is individual,
Yes.
myself. The second, which is collective, and it means that religions are there, or beliefs. And there is a notion of time. The past is quite important here, and the present is just the vehicle of the past to the future. And after the third level, with the universal consciousness, and after the divine one. Now, one of the questions that appear very much in people I meet is how we go. Mainly from the second to the third level. How can we do that? And how does this happen? Is it sudden, or is it progressive, or do we go and come back? Can you tell us more about what you experienced yourself and what you saw around you?
Now you see the second level of consciousness is very powerful because it has a long history of many years, if you like. And to make this transition from the second level to the third level is to understand the limitations of the second level. This is very important. You can't force it.
Okay.
For example, when a baby is in the womb, when the baby likes to come out of the womb, when it realizes the womb is very narrow now, it cannot stay there. And this transition physically, it happens almost spontaneously, if you like. You know, the birth takes place. You have physically, you have no control, if you like.
It is organic.
It's organic, okay? Once the time is ready, and then the birth takes place. But in the case of the second level, it may not be so natural, it may not be so spontaneous, because it is possible in the second level. People may be living there in that womb. We can say the second level also is like a womb, but they are not growing. So you can be there hundreds of years, but never growing, because the system in which we are in is not really feeding us to grow, but only feeding to sustain, to subsist, just to live, but not to grow.
So we can really be stuck in this
Yes,
level.
we can be stuck there for many years. And people may think that is it. So they may not think that there is something beyond, because people are not told about that. So you have to be there and until you die, if you like. And then something will happen. Okay.
That's why there are so many violent reactions sometimes. If they feel challenged in there, look at there's something more. No, here I feel good.
Because they feel secure. Okay, security. No? But the problem is you may have a security, but you may not have growth. Okay, and so the important thing is to understand and to see the limitations of that level. That means we have to use our reason.
Okay. The reason is here.
Yes, we have to think, and of course not only thinking, but also with the heart, because they have to go together. The feelings and the mind, they have to go together. Okay.
Yes.
And
the feeling of injustice, the feeling that why we are right and the other are not.
Why we are divided.
Undivided.
Okay.
Yeah, the wars, the conflicts.
Wars and conflict, and why we are killing each other. So these are all seeing the limitations. If I discover that my religion is promoting violence, my religion is promoting to die for my religion, and also killing others for the sake of my religion, then I need to think about that.
What do you think about martyr? this idea I have to die for my religion.
I think it is, I would say it is it may belong to the process of evolution, you can say, but that's not the ultimate ideal.
Okay.
Because this kind of understanding comes when we think the relative truth is the absolute truth. Okay? Because every truth that divides is relative truth. Okay? If my truth, my belief system is dividing me from the others, that means I am in the relative truth. And when I say that this is the absolute truth, then I have to die for my belief, and if necessary, I have to kill also others for my belief. And only relative truth wants to propagate itself, expand itself, convert others into its belief system.
I have observed on myself too that I have left a system of belief when I was a teenager, and looking for another one, which I was considering as wider. And now I see myself sometimes again in another kind of belief. I have left one for another one.
Because that is the mechanism of the mind. It always wants something on which you can really hold on. I may reject one belief system, but that my mind creates another belief system, and then after that I discover that is also limited, because any kind of belief system is limited, and any belief system that doesn't unite me with the others is limited, and so we have to realize, okay, we need this. Human mind wants some kind of security, and the mind is creating this kind of belief systems. But we have to realize that there is no security at that level. No belief system can give us real security. And that is why the profound insight of Buddha, that there is no permanent self. Okay, it's a very, very profound insight, you see. And when you realize there is no permanent self, that means there is no belief anymore. Okay? And then you become empty. And that emptiness can facilitate us to move into the third level of consciousness, which is not a belief, but it is a kind of interconnected reality.
So it means a mind which is quite refined. So what are the quality of the mind? Because it's mind wanting to reproduce itself again, finding, as you said, other system to hang on.
Okay, because when there is this end of this big construction of the belief system, so there is no more time. There is no more becoming. There is no duality of I and the ideal. So there is only empty, if you like. Because becoming means time. And this becoming belongs to either the first level of consciousness or the second level of consciousness. But in the third level of consciousness, there is no time. It is empty of time. Time means becoming.
So it means that you are really in the present moment?
Yes, exactly.
All time, open to
you are in the present, but that present is not full in the sense. It is empty of time, but it is not filled by something else. Okay?
Can you explain?
It is, for example, if you understand the second level of consciousness like a cloud. The cloud has certain form. You can say it's a belief system. Okay? But if you inquire into the cloud, you discover it doesn't have any substance. Okay? It can dissipate.
So what are the indicators, the markers, who helps you, guides you in this third level? That you are in this real moment of eternity. How you can objective it, that it is the right thing.
Now one thing is the sense of unity, interconnectedness,
Okay.
okay, that you are not an isolated individual,
Mm-hmm.
but you are part and parcel of the whole. Okay, I am here because of you, you are here because the sense of interconnectedness and interdependency. Okay, it is not nothingness,
Mm-hmm.
it is emptiness. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay?
Can you detail?
Nothingness means nothing exists.
Okay.
Nihilism, it is
Nihilism,
called
okay.
nihilism. Okay, and many atheistic philosophers, think of this nihilistic that we are nothing, and then we have to fill ourselves with our own plans, with our own projects. Okay, okay. Nietzsche spoke about Superman. Okay, so you can become by your own effort and things like that.
Okay.
But in the case of emptiness, there is no becoming. There is no projecting something into the future. So you are in a state of receptivity.
Okay.
Beyond time.
Like the moon, you are saying.
I always give the image of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So the moon is empty.
So it's clear for me. I don't know if I see it as empty or as clear, like a mirror, a quite clean mirror, or.
Yes, you can use the image of mirror also, because the mirror doesn't have its own light. It reflects the light. And so this emptiness, should open something beyond itself, which we call fullness. Fourth level of consciousness. Because the third level of consciousness, emptiness, without the fourth level is incomplete. People can enter into the third level of consciousness, okay, and you can realize this interconnectedness, interdependency, and freedom from becoming, freedom from desire. Desire is becoming time. And from that you can also have compassion. Tremendous compassion for the others, but you create this compassion because of interdependency. But that doesn't give real fulfillment, because you don't have an ontological the purpose of life.
Okay.
Okay.
We will come to that afterwards.
Okay.
What is the real purpose?
Yes.
Now we are only speaking about this ascending moment where you awakening actually.
Yes.
You are awakening to.
It's like a dreaming. You awake from the dreams into something beyond the dreams, and you try to find fulfillment there, but you don't speak about why the creation and why is our human existence. You don't think about that. You only say, I want to be free from desire, I want to be from attachment, and that itself can give you inner satisfaction and inner joy. I think no problem, but it is incomplete.
It's strange. I don't know if it is right. It's just the feeling I had. Sometimes during the meditation or during my life or being along with you, I can feel this unity and this compassion. But sometimes I will go back to my projects and I say, now I want to do that, but they are for the future, they are projects. And I feel it's quite a jump to where you are in a safe place, where you know where you are going, because you know exactly the ways, the different ways, to a moment where you don't know anything. You are just in kind of service. You don't know what's going to happen.
Now I think there is a difference between having projects, so creating the future from fullness, and there is a difference of creating projects from emptiness.
Okay.
I think this is the important distinction.
So it's not a problem. I mean, when you are in the third, fourth level, you can have projects.
Yes.
Okay.
You are completely I think you will have more projects. If
Really?
Because they are coming from the fullness.
And in the service of humanity,
At
actually.
the service
And
of
there are
humanity.
many things, yes.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so when you look at the world outside and if you see the needs of the people, you make projects. But these projects are like a doors through which you wanted to manifest your fullness.
Okay, it's not something doing as something desperate. You want to help.
No, it's not a compulsion.
It's not compulsion.
It's not a compulsion. It's not something you are going to get something from that.
Okay, okay. No, it's no. Yes, you are not expecting anything from that. No agenda. As
Yes,
you say.
no agenda.
Yes,
I don't know whether you remember. I speak about two ways of living our life. One is from emptiness. The other one is from fullness. And living from emptiness is like a pond which has no source inside, and it is trying to fill itself from outside. That means its meaning, its happiness is dependent on something outside. And when that source is not there, I am in depression. Yes. I am in misery. Because my whole life is dependent on something outside. This is called living from the emptiness. And living from the fullness is like a pond again, which has a source inside, a kind of spring inside, and it is overflowing from it.
I can relate really to that. That I can't not see in myself this moment of fullness, but this moment of emptiness too.
Yes.
If I am sometimes triggered by some psychological issues, and sometimes I will react. I won't be in the awareness, total awareness, and say I'm acting from a place of fulfillment.
Yes.
And how you can relate to that, to this moment of
I think
oscillation, actually.
The most important thing is to be aware of that. To be aware from where this reaction is coming. Is it coming from my emptiness or is it coming from fullness? You can also react from your fullness, because we live in the world and we have to encounter people, and but you can react those things from your inner fullness, but you can also react that from your inner emptiness.
And how it would manifest? Does it manifest differently, a reaction from
and I think when it comes from the fullness, it is not a reaction.
Okay.
Okay, you don't react.
Okay, it's a conscious
It
action.
is something, we would say, is a creative. Okay, you don't know beforehand.
Maybe there's more joy in that?
Yes, because when it comes from the inner fullness, it's a creativity, it's a freedom and creativity, and responding to the present. And sometimes you don't know what will come.
Yes, life is very surprising.
Surprising,
yes.
And sometimes
challenging.
If we are acting from our emptiness, so it's more of a reaction. Sometimes these things are inside, then we try to defend ourselves, we want
to
justify ourselves, so it's a kind of reaction. So to kind of keep this balance, awareness, whether I am, because these reactions may come. I'm not saying that when people say something, immediately something triggers inside of us. But I think to be aware and not to allow it to, okay, it is a reaction, I don't want to do that, I just want to keep my silence. You see, in the life of Jesus, we can find this kind of moments where he was, for example, people ask him the question, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Yes. That was the question. Now, you see, again, the answer depends also on the mentality of the people who ask the question. It's not the same answer for everything. There's no ready-made answer. It always depends on the mind of the people, why they are asking this question.
Yes, because it was a tricky question. I remember it was prepared by the Pharisees.
Okay, so what they wanted was, they wanted to trap him. That is their motive.
Yes.
So, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar? If he says, don't pay taxes to Caesar, they can complain to Caesar, he is your enemy, because he's telling people not to pay taxes to you.
Yes.
If he says, pay taxes to Caesar, he is the enemy of the
people, of the Jew people,
Jewish people, because he is forcing them to accept the authority of the emperor.
The colonizer.
Okay? So there's a tricky question. Is it lawful? Yes or no? Tell us yes or no. If he says yes, he will be in trouble.
And if you know too.
No, he is in trouble.
Yes.
So what answer he got? He says, okay, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. Now, from where this answer is coming? Is it a reaction? Reaction means it was stored in his memory and he is just reacting to that. But nobody has said this answer before. So it is a original answer. You can say it is coming from the fullness. That is the difference.
Originality.
Originality. And that answer is applicable to only to that time.
Okay.
That moment. You can't repeat that.
Wow, yes, okay, yes, okay.
Sometimes people say, is it lawful to there was a question before for the priest, the religious. Is it a priest can join the politics and not to join the politics? Sometimes people quote, Jesus said, give to God what belongs to God and what belongs to Caesar. You can't quote like that.
Okay, because it is the past, it was the context, historical context.
Exactly, it was the historical context.
Okay.
You can't repeat that.
And I may add, it's not to be original for the sake of being original, but it is the authentic answer to the moment it was asked.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see, I'm sorry. And there is another question. It's very, just to show a little example. They ask, they caught a woman in the act of adultery.
Yes.
And they bring her to Jesus. This woman is caught in the act of adultery. That means it's 100% proof. Now Moses has told us to stone these people to death. Stone them to death. So what do you say? Again, it's a tricky question.
Because if not, you are again the law of Moses.
Yes, okay. If you say,
yes,
you have no compassion on this, See, if he says, okay, stone her to death, they will say, oh, you are a prophet and you have no compassion on this poor woman. If he says, don't stone her to death, you are breaking the law of Moses. So in both cases, he will be in trouble. So what answer he gives? Let him who has not committed the sin throw the first stone.
A genial answer, genial.
What happened? All went away.
Yes.
This is called a creative answer. It comes from fullness, not from the emptiness. So that is the difference. Again, you cannot repeat that answer. Suppose somebody goes to the judge, let us say, and says this woman is caught in the act of adultery. And the judge will not say, let him who has not committed the sin throw the first stone. Even the church doesn't say no. Even the Catholic Church or any church which is supposed to represent Jesus Christ doesn't say that. You have committed the sin, you have to go for confession and all those things. Because it's not meant for these times, for all time. That's meant only for that particular.
So it's quite a responsibility for the church, for every of us actually to
respond.
Yes, and to filter,
Open.
to respond. Yes, response versus reactivity.
That's exactly. Because the moment you fix everything, you are reacting.
And as humans, all the support of the psychology, even the Buddhist psychology is very interesting about that, telling that we have all these seeds of greediness, of jealousy, of angerness in us, and these seeds are here, and sometimes in some context they grow and they appear in our life, and even if you clean, there are always some seeds over there, and for me it's really interesting because the psychology is the same. They say this, we have this subconscious which is so important, and you have this moment sometimes when you feel secure, of fulfillment, of unity, of generosity, and come back something on issues from you when you were a child, and you feel triggered, and so this oscillation between which is the third and second level, they are here.
Yes, the only thing is that, to be aware of that.
Okay, aware, okay.
The first thing is to be aware that there is anger inside of us. There is so many emotions are there, especially the negative emotions, which really the problem. The positive emotions are not a problem.
Yes.
But the negative emotions are there. And because sometimes the psychology will help us in a way to understand from where it is coming, why it is coming. In that sense, psychology is very, very important. But it's not the ultimate answer. It tells us how much we are conditioned by our previous wounds, even going back to our childhood and everything. Okay, but if you are a good psychologist, if you have a higher vision of life, then you open something beyond. You always don't remain. And sometimes people are very much working on that always. You are working on the past. Okay?
Yes, in the past,
You have the emotions and everything. And sometimes the more you work on them, sometimes they become more stronger also.
Yes, because you rewrite again the story.
Yeah, because you are feeding that. You are giving energy to that, and so they like that.
That's why many psychologists are combining their intervention with mindfulness, with awareness practices, just in order to be a kind of detachment and I say martyr, witness. Witness of what it is to be a space between you and what you are looking, and this it's a space of being actually.
Yes, I think it is a good. It's very something good. Okay, you can do that. But I think it is also, for me, it is also important that you express them, not only you watch them.
Okay.
But if you become those emotions in a way, and you express what you are feeling, and I say, that is what is prayer about. So prayer.
Yes, and I'd like to speak of that too in another episode. I just like to fit with this thematic of going through the levels and trying to be aware where we are and what we can do to navigate between them. I've read some texts and people were saying that you can be lighted at some moment, and I saw many people having a very nice meditation and I am lighted. And after when they speak with the mother, you can say you are not enlightened anymore because you are triggered by your family. And I don't know about this process of cleaning this subconscious mind. How do you feel for you? Or how is it for you as Brother John on what you see around you? This cleaning is a long process, and at one time we can be totally cleaned or no?
No, I think for me the most important thing is not only cleaning, yes, you can do that, but to discover a higher identity. This is important. Sometimes people get attached to the techniques, whatever it may be, and then of course you can find certain kind of peace and everything, but then you become dependent on that. You have to meditate every day and 3 hours, and then it becomes more and more And it can become almost sometimes a kind of addiction also, because your inner peace is dependent on something what you are doing.
Yes, and if you didn't do your meditation, it is a
If
drama.
you don't do your meditation, then it is gone.
Yes, yes.
It is like, for example, if you are sick, you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you the medicine. Okay. If it is a good medicine, it will heal you, and then you are not dependent on that anymore.
Yes, and if you take the pill regularly,
Okay.
as your doctor says,
Okay.
on one time.
Yes. Okay. If that medicine makes you free, that means now you don't need to take the medicine anymore. Then I would say it's a good medicine.
Okay.
But if you have to take this medicine until you die, and if you don't take the meditation, the symptoms come back. I think this is not a good medicine. This medicine is only to control the symptoms, but not to heal the real cause.
Yes.
And so, whether my spiritual practice is something which makes me dependent on that, so that I have to do it, take every day, or is it something which heals me so that I don't need that anymore? So,
but you need to take the pill an amount of time until you are healed.
yes, you can say, okay, you take this pill for 1 month, 2 months, maybe 1 year, okay.
Or maybe 10 years.
No problem, I take that, but one day I have to be free from that.
Yes, yes.
But if doctor says, no, you can't be free from that, and until your death you have to take this medicine, that means I have become dependent on the medicine.
You were speaking of this level of understanding. Before, I want to remember the question. It was, for me, the questions, you say, okay, it's important that we remind there is something more. And because I was speaking about these psychologists, subconscious issues which are there, and for you, what I'm here from, what I do hear from you, it is just don't focus just on that.
Yes, yes.
Remember that that you are something bigger.
Yeah, yes.
And something higher. For me, I don't know. The cleaning is here just to be more aware on a longer time, actually. Aware of that, because
no,
sometimes you can
cleaning,
go. I know it's like where you go up like with a balloon, but you have lots of weights, and this cleaning for me is like, okay, I'm letting go some weights, and in order to stay a bit longer there.
Now I think you see one thing is first you try to clean up your psyche in order to make this transition. The second thing is you discover this transcendent, and then try to purify this one. Okay. That gives you more relaxation, because now you have seen something beyond, and then then you say, okay, this is not it. So you are able to somehow to silence this process. Okay. But if you go on just dealing only with that, you will be never able to come out of that.
So what I hear it is we could do a bit of that and a bit of that too. I mean cleaning, but being aware is not all about that. That is something much higher. And when you reach higher states, be aware too that you may have some cleaning to do.
Now you see, when we speak about the cleaning, again there are two aspects. Okay, one is there are two types of processes. For example, you take a stone and you want to make it a mirror. So you are working on that because it is a stone and you want to make it a mirror. Or it is already mirror, but it is covered with mud. And so it is not to make it a mirror, but to remove what is on the mirror.
Oh, okay. You just don't have any intention in a way. You just
Yes, you want to say, okay, this is not my true nature. This is not my true self. Okay, this is another way of purification. It's not becoming. I'm not imperfect and I want to become perfect. I'm already perfect by the grace of God, but this is conditioned by my past, my emotions, maybe, and then I want to clean that one. So my spiritual practice is cleaning this mirror, and then you are less burdened.
Yes, because in the first one, if I want to transform a stone,
Yeah, okay.
I will a lot of strife.
Yes, exactly.
And I have an agenda,
Yes.
and I will be never happy.
Okay.
Because I won't
Because
be
you
able to
can't do that.
Yeah, I can do.
You can't do that. So it is not becoming, but it is purifying. Okay.
So being aware of this.
First thing is we have to go beyond this second level, which is identification with the past. You can identification with religions. You can identify your wounds in the past, in your relationships. So many identifications with your family, with your husband, wife. So many identifications we have. Okay, so to go beyond that and say.
I would even add the identification with the people. I am Caucasian. I am French. I am Romanian.
Exactly, these are all identifications.
I am Jew. I am Christians. I
all
am
these
mindfulness teacher.
Yes, exactly.
So all that is identities.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Any kind of identification brings me down to the second level, keeps me to the second level. So first thing I have to break. That means I only say I am.
Because it's what I was feeling now.
Okay.
Is that I am. Without nothing else.
Nothing else.
Afterwards.
Okay.
Yes.
That means there is nothing before, there is nothing after.
Yes.
That means I go beyond time. This I am doesn't belong to time. So this I am makes me free from all the identifications. Okay, this is the kind of liberation in a way. The moment I say I am, you realize that how free you are.
I had this during a meditation. It was a long, many days of silent meditation. And I see myself, my mind. I was looking at this mind speaking, and say who I am, who I am. And the mind was trying to say, I am something, I am that, I am that. And it was look like a desperate. And on that the point, okay, I've heard the voice. No, you are just I am, and everything you add afterwards will limit you.
Exactly.
It was such a moment. Very beautiful.
Yes, exactly. Now, this is really the whole purpose of all our spiritual practices. Either meditation or prayer, is to help us to awake to this identity, I am. But as long as we remain only at the level of techniques and everything, and if they don't help us to see that, then we are again become dependent on that.
As a conclusion for this episode, I would underline this organic process of transformation without agenda, without any intentions of being something, because it does trap us to becoming actually.
Yes, I think I use the two words. One is becoming, and the other one is unfolding. I think this division is important. So we need to go beyond becoming. That means beyond time. And then, because if it's only going beyond becoming, again, then it becomes inactive, I don't need to do anything, and then we move into this kind of silence, no problem. But then from that emptiness comes unfolding. Life is to unfold. And unfolding comes from fullness. So to make this transition from becoming to unfolding is really the purpose of all spiritual practices.
Thank you very much, Brother John, for your intervention, and see you for the next episode we are preparing.
Okay.